Hey up and welcome to Callum's Corner on a webcam. Different recording device because today is a Q&A video and it's probably going to be a bit longer, and I kind of wanted to have my hands free and a little bit less kind of restriction of movement, so I'm not using my phone. Q&A video because we have reached a massive milestone at Callum's Corner now. We have 20,000 subscribers. So there's a massive thank you from the bottom of my heart to each and every one of you for that. You know, I don't like to think of it as a channel. It's why it's called Callum's Corner. It's my corner of the internet where you can all come shelter in here, and if it's raining I'll be there. I'm 6'5", I'll stand above all of you with an umbrella and you'll all be dry. You know, it is becoming the premier place on the internet now, I believe, to go for advice and knowledge and emotion. It's not like many other YouTube channels. It's very different, and those of you who are new, please do stick around, subscribe, and enjoy the journey. You know, you will learn and you feel comfortable eventually. So let's jump straight into a question. This one is from a guy called Richard Chambers. Now these are questions that I've taken from the YouTube comment section, from on my Twitter, and from messages that I get on Facebook as well. So it's a real mix match, podge-modge of questions from all different kind of platforms, social media platforms. Anyway, Richard Chambers says, and this is quite a common question, so I'm glad someone asked it. What made you start making videos? How have you grown so quickly? Well, I started making videos after Christmas. In all honesty, I was a little bit down. You know, realisation was hitting me that I'm 34. I'm living with my mum, albeit in a caring role, and Christmas, you know, not the same since my father passed away. And my life seemed to have shrunk slightly. You know, it got smaller and smaller. I thought, you know what, I'm going to push myself to do something. I didn't know what it was going to be, and I went to this carer support coffee morning, and they were saying some people make like little video blogs and stuff, you know. I thought, I'll give that a try. I wasn't on Facebook or anything at the time, so I made a couple, and yeah, that's how I started. On here, on this YouTube, there's not that many of my older blogs. What I'm going to try and do is find them somehow or download them off different places, and I'm going to upload them, one old video every couple of days, so you can kind of catch up on the backstory, because it must be hard if you've come in halfway through, and I know so many of you have, and that's, you know, talking about how I've grown so quickly. You know, I was doing it mainly on Facebook. I wasn't really using YouTube at all, and I was putting these videos out there, and I was getting this comment coming, tic tac head, and you know what, I thought, I'm just going to confront it. I'm going to confront it, and I made a video, and that video just went viral. I think is what they call it now. I put it on, went and had my dinner, and I came back and it had like 100,000 views, and it went on to have like 4 million on Facebook. And Uni Lad took it, sucked it off my page and put it on theirs, and they had like another 5-6 million. It's ridiculous. And that's how it all started, and my Facebook page just blew up, and I thought, oh, you know what, I should have put that on YouTube, that video, and I have now. It was a few weeks later, probably should have put it on at the same time, but hey ho, you live and learn, don't you? You know, I'm not a social media guru, and that's never been the point of all this. It's about expressing me and my emotions and just going along on a journey, and, you know, outputting whatever I decide to output, and if people want to watch it, that's great. If they don't, you know, you're free to turn off. You know, no one's forcing you to be here, but if you are here, I'm very grateful. And then I guess, you know, talking about how it grows so quickly on YouTube, Will Etney picked up a video, didn't he? He picked it up and reacted to it, and that kind of made people realise that I had a YouTube channel. It was only about 9 people knew before then, but I'd like to think people are still watching, because it's different, it's something different. But I'm obviously very thankful to Will N.E. for picking it up, because it gave a massive boost to my YouTube, I tell you. And he's quite a funny lad as well, although I've got a few more things to say to him, because he can take the piss a little bit. Right, guy called Alex Nealon is saying, his question was, why do you get so angry? What else does he say? You seem like you're a nice guy. Thank you, Alex. Maybe if you ignore it, it will just go away. I get so angry. It's in the moment. I live in the moment very much, and I live with my emotions being output to their fullest. I think it's very easy to get complacent in life and just stand for stuff, stand for disrespect, stand for, just anything that's bad. It's very easy to get comfortable allowing stuff to happen. And I think for me personally, to be who I want to be, I have to stand up to every injustice that I perceive. I will fight for what I believe to be right, and I will stand up for myself, and I will stand up against what I believe to be wrong. One thing that's always made me sick is bullying. In school, I found it really hard to be around bullying. A couple of people tried on me when I was, really young. Luckily, I was able to stand up for myself. I don't just mean physically, I mean kind of mentally. You take the mickey out them back and stuff. Once they know you're sound, they'll go away. But some people get really scared, and it's horrible to be around, and I will always stand up against that. I think people, especially online nowadays, are disgusting, really, their behaviour, what they say to people. They should take a good look at themselves, because it's all bravado and it's mostly pathetic, to be honest with you. What else have we got? Daniela says, are you a virgin? No, I'm not a virgin. I have answered that before. I've actually had 10 sexual partners now, including Michelle, my most recent one. And they range from different ladies. I lost my virginity at 16 years old, but then I had a testicular disease. One of my testicles really swelled up, and I, being young, I was only 16, I thought it had been caused by over masturbation, to be honest with you, and I was too embarrassed to go to the doctor, so I didn't. After I'd lost my virginity, that happened only a few weeks later, and I didn't see the doctor for about a year and a half because I was embarrassed, so I didn't have sex for a long time then. But since then, I've been in relationships. There was one particularly painful one with a girl who had a slightly it was quite apparent actually, a bulbous nose, quite misshapen. It looked like one of those, when you're getting honey in a hotel, it's got like that stick with a thing on the end of it. Her nose looked a bit like that. But she was a lovely girl. We were, physical together. She'd never really known affection before, and I used to stroke her little head, and she'd almost like purr like a cat. But that didn't work out in the end. And there was a lady in Sunderland I went to stay with. Well, I was living with her for about 6 weeks. She had only one leg. It makes me sound like I've only been in with misfits, but that's not. I'm just telling you about probably two of the most interesting ones, because there was love there in an unusual situation, and it shows that I look beyond just physicality. It's the mind as well is a big thing. Yeah, I was living with a woman in Sunderland for about 6 weeks. She only had one leg, prosthetic leg. The other one, that's fine. Sunderland was pretty grim though. Pallion, Jesus Christ. Wouldn't want to go back there. Wouldn't want to live there. Right. What's this? Okay, a guy called Rob says, who should Arsenal sign? Quite a specific question, but I'll answer it. They should sign, they haven't got much money left now after their big double signing, they should sign Curtis Davis from Hull City. He is an absolutely brilliant defender. He is just what they need. He'd come cheap, 3-4 million. He's 30 or 31 now, but he's experienced, he's got pace, and he's just a really good defender. Think of what Wes Morgan did for Leicester last year. He could do that for Arsenal this year, and he's a better player than Wes Morgan, I believe. He's a good, solid defender. He loves defending, and that's what Arsenal need. He'd be perfect coming alongside either Colchini or the new guy they've signed. He'd be a rock for them, and he'd be a bargain player. That's who Arsenal should sign. You're welcome. And if you like the football talk, please do leave some comments in my section asking football questions. I'm going to do a transfer deadline special soon, and I'll also be doing some football little vids for you. So yeah, let me know your questions on football. What else have we got? Various people asking this. Where are you from, and why are you the king of the north if you live in Bristol? Okay, So let's take this down. I live in Bristol now, but I have lived all over. I was born in Ribble Valley near Blackburn. My dad was actually from York, so that's probably influences my accent a little bit. But my dad worked as a coach driver, and one of his favourite destinations to go to was the Isle of Wight. And I was very young when he moved my family over there. And I spent a few years living on the Isle of Wight growing up. It was a lovely place, can't speak highly of it enough, and I will be going back soon, I hope. I'll be making a couple of videos of my visit. And then we moved back to Bristol when I was a bit older. And I personally, I've lived away from home. I did for about 10 years. I've lived just off Old Kent Road in Bermondsey. I've lived in Surrey very briefly. I have, where else have I lived? I've lived in Portsmouth for a while. Yeah, I've been all over the shop. I'm a well-travelled man, and really do enjoy travelling in different places. One girl asked, am I a troll? And that's really, I think, the stuff, the kind of disrespect about my looks has got to stop now. Yes, I'm not the most handsome man in the world, but I can't change that. And if you don't like the way I look, just don't watch the videos, I guess. You don't need to comment and say that. I mean, they're disgusting creatures, fat, and they've got like misshapen faces, and that's just, I'm just a fairly unattractive man. That's not a fair comparison. I haven't named her because I don't want hate mail going to her, but there you go. Stephen says, what would you like to do with your newfound fame? Well, I don't think I'm famous, don't get me wrong, but what I would like to do with it all, the little bit of success that I've had with subscribers and stuff, I would like to firstly upgrade my equipment. That needs to be done, and I'd like to go and do videos from visiting places, and that could be little holidays, little destinations, countries that I've never been to events and gigs and stuff. I'd like to do some interviews with ordinary people and interesting people and any people really, celebrity people. I would really get to the bottom of people with my tough questioning and my emotional kind of empathy that I possess. What else have we got? Favourite music. That's from a girl called Amy. Black Eyed Peas. Ultimate favourite. Love them. Love to dance to them. They are funky, they're sexy, they are just good fun, and it puts me in a good mood to have the Black Eyed Peas on. Black Eyed Peas for the win. This has gone on for a long time now. I'll do one more question, and if you guys like this I can do another one if you want. Okay, James says, who is your celeb crush? Two celeb crushes I have. I have Kirsty Allsop, who is wholesome, and she is fulsome, and she is sassy, and I will not hear a word against her. Kirsty Allsop, if you're watching, I have had the same dream at least once a month for the past 5 years, and it is me and you dancing to Love and Affection by Joan Armatrading, and it's not like a sexual dance, we're just spinning around together, and it's lovely. I just would love to interview you, Kirsty, really would, if you see this. And Kirsten Dunst, who is just all kinds of gorgeous. Anyway, that has been my Q&A. Please do, if you haven't, subscribe wherever you click on whatever device you're watching on, and like it if you like it. If you don't like it, then you can thumbs down. It's up to you. It's up to you entirely. I don't want to put pressure on people, but the people who are here in my corner, I could not be more thankful. 20,000 subscribers is incredible. Massive thanks to all of you involved.